Hello, guys. It's me, Butterfly Spirit 314. I was looking over the book I'm reading. It's called The Dance of Connection. It's by Harriet Lerner. And I was looking in chapter one because I kind of had this feeling to kind of take a look in the book. And there was a line in chapter one where the author is talking about how when we don't speak authentically, this can lead to our relationships going into a downward spiral. And this could cause us to disregard ourselves and essentially, our needs and wants and things like that. So, it makes sense to me why it is that someone wouldn't speak authentically to um, and speak in their authentic voice. It makes a lot of sense to me because I learned how not to speak authentically. Since I was a kid, I learned how not to share my feelings. I learned how to basically I learned a few things as a kid. So one thing I learned is um, I learned to basically the only time you really speak up about something is when you're like really pissed off and when you're mad. That's when you speak up. But before then, you don't say anything. So you just kind of just kind of push things to the side and don't say anything. Um, and I guess this kind of is something that became more supported this because in my family, people in my family go based off of image. So um, in my family, as long as you look good, right? As long as you're dressed up and you look okay, then you're fine. There's nothing more to worry about. And this is on both sides of my family are about image. It's about how you look, how you present yourself. It's not about how you feel. So even if you feel bad, as long as you look good, you can dress up and everything and stuff, you're fine. Okay. So on both sides of my family, people don't really share their feelings or anything. Basically people kind of keep to their emotions to themselves and stuff like that. If they do share their feelings, they might share it to a select couple of people, but they're not really vulnerable. um, I'll give you an example of when I was a kid. So there was an instance when I was a kid, and I can't remember how old I was probably like maybe 10, maybe 9 or 10 years old. And I ended up um, I went swimming with my cousin. And my cousin, I think she was like she was either 18 or either in her like early 20s or something like that. And she was a lifeguard. And so basically, my mom, had let me go swimming with my cousin after after pretty much a lot of people in my family had like pleaded with my mom to let me go. Then I ended up being able to go swimming. Not sure why my mom was like not wanting me to hang out with family, but oh well. So I ended up going swimming with my cousin, and I had these two ponytails that I would wear. I wore two ponytails for a lot of years. Um, anyway, I took my ponytails down, and my hair was straight. And it was, I combed through it and everything and stuff. And so I took my ponytails down and stuff, and I, got in the pool and started, of course, swimming. And what happened is as I was swimming, my hair tangled on itself and like literally tangled so bad that my hair started to knot up, which sucked. And I think I got the idea to swim with my hair down because, what girl doesn't, want to swim in the water with their hair? down like a mermaid, and stuff, right? And stuff. So I didn't have any idea about like swimming caps or anything, or having my hair braided and then putting on a swimming cap or any of that stuff. Like as a kid, I didn't have any kind of idea about that. So what happened was is that my hair basically got like it got so tangled on itself and stuff, um, from like me swimming and stuff, swimming from different parts of the pool and just having a good time and stuff as a kid in the pool that day. Um, that like by the time I got out of the pool, like my hair was basically in knots because of my hair type. And so I got this idea that I would go and I would wash my hair. Well, that didn't do any good because when I went to wash my hair, I made it worse with my hair being tangled. So what ended up happening is that I ended up going to my auntie's house. My cousin, yeah, my cousin ended up taking me back to my auntie's house. And when I got to my auntie's house and stuff, and my cousin brought me in the house, um, what happened is that some of my cousins were there, and my sister was there with my cousins. And my hair was all over my head. My hair was all tangled and everything, and my hair was a mess. Okay, and when I walked in and I was standing next to my cousin and stuff, right at the front door, basically all my cousins, everybody like busted out, start laughing at me and stuff, at my hair being all over my head, at my hair being tangled and stuff. And when I was trying to like untangle my hair and stuff because I knew it was tangled, then you know people were laughing at me, and my own family, my own cousins were laughing, and they just couldn't get over my hair being tangled and how funny they thought it looked. And I remember that I held it in, that my cousins had laughed at me at a time where I felt really subconscious about my hair. And um, what had happened is I remember like my sister, had me go upstairs to my auntie's second floor bathroom and stuff. And my sister was trying to untangle my hair, but it hurt to try to untangle it. And because my hair had basically tangled up and like locked up essentially because of all my hair like had basically tangled and stuff. And when my sister was, you know, like trying to untangle my hair, then I remember crying because I felt so embarrassed and humiliated that, that my hair had gotten to be so tangled and stuff. And I just felt so bad, like I had did something wrong by going to the pool and trying to enjoy myself and swim with my hair down, and just the fact that I was laughed at by my cousins, and I think my sister had laughed with them, it made me feel really bad. And that experience of that, maybe the reason why I have an insecurity when it comes to my hair is because of how I was laughed at when I was a kid. Um, and so that might be the reason. Um, and when I think back to that experience, like think about it as an adult, I shouldn't have been laughed at as a kid over my hair being tangled, because I took that personally, you know, and I never really spoke up about that to any of my cousins or even my, sister, about how she and my cousins had laughed at, my hair being all tangled and stuff, and me trying to untangle it, and people laughing and ridiculing me over my hair being in tangles and stuff. And I never spoke up about that. And that's just one of the instances that I learned to hold in my feelings. Um, when I was growing up, like I said, it was about, if you look okay, if you look good, there's no need to, talk about things. I learned, like I was saying earlier, that, you know, I learned not to be vulnerable, like in that moment when I was a kid. I just learned to like hold it on the inside. Um, as a teenager, you know, um, in my family, like I really didn't see people talk about, like, be vulnerable about their feelings and stuff. Um, I had an auntie that that basically she had lost one of her legs and stuff. And I remember one day I was in my auntie's room and I was talking to my auntie and stuff, and how, like I could tell like that she felt embarrassed about the fact that, because she was also in a wheelchair, so she felt um, embarrassed that she had to have help to bathe herself. And I watched like my auntie not vocalize her feelings. Grown woman, not able to do that, you know. And as a kid, I learned not to. And I don't know how many feelings like my auntie had about, losing one of her legs and stuff and everything and being in a wheelchair. Um, I can't imagine what that's like, and of course I don't want to go through that. But um, I learned, like, and my auntie in that moment, she was vulnerable with me, but that was rare. I had an auntie that had breast cancer, and she never really talked to anybody about her experience of having breast cancer and what that was like. Um, I learned from women in my family, not to, like, and not just women, but men too in my family, about not opening up, not speaking, you know, to your real feelings. And I guess it was successful for me too, because when I was a teenager, when I would be sad or frustrated or nervous or embarrassed or whatever, instead of talking about what my feelings were like about things, what I would do is listen to music. So if I was mad, I listened to some mad music. If I was sad, I listened to some sad music. And music was something I connected with, you know. And the thing that I kind of feel like is when I think about the book that I'm reading, The Dance of Connection, and that line about how, basically the line about how, when when you can't speak authentically, it causes the downward spiral in relationships, and it does. Because as a kid, I've been taught how not to be myself. I've been taught to kind of hide myself from other people, and really the only person I can be myself with is really just me, because I know I'm okay with me, or so I think. I definitely have some insecurities about being myself, because when I was a kid, like what I told you guys about when I was a kid, in that swimming instance I was talking about at the beginning of the video. Um, you know, I've learned, to hold things in, and also like in my family, if you're different from other people, you get ridiculed. I remember my mom was telling me when I was a teenager, my mom and I would, talk like afternoons after I get out of school. My mom told me once that, and this kind of, gave me the understanding that people in my family, when you do something different, then you'll get ridiculed by people. So what happened is, I remember my mom told me that when she was younger, um, my mom might have been in her, 20s or something. Um, Basically, everybody in my family ate meat. So everybody ate meat in my family. And my mom decided that she wanted to be a vegetarian. And so my mom started, basically eating, making vegetarian dishes and stuff like that as a vegetarian and stuff, and trying that out. And so when my mom went to like a family gathering or something like that, she had, people noticed that she wasn't eating meat. And so basically, when my mom was asked, well, why aren't you getting any meat? My mom told, her siblings that she, that she's a vegetarian. And basically what everybody did, what her siblings did, is everybody bust out laughing and start making jokes and ridiculing my mom for being a vegetarian because that was different. And what I've noticed as I've been growing up is that, you know, in my family, if you're different, you get ridiculed for it, you know. And if you don't get ridiculed, what'll happen is that, people will they want to change you back into the person that they want you to be. This has happened to me a lot as I've been, when I was a kid, teenager, even still as an adult. Um, when I'll communicate with people in my family about things, then what happens is that they don't like me speaking authentically to being who I am. They want me to be who they want me to be. So they want to try to control who I am, um, what kind of job I work, where I work at, how I should do things their way, you know, because, you know, they want me to live life by their own way. And I guess this is a realization about some things about like I'm learning about myself and maybe why I may have tried to get, want people to think about things my own way because that's what happened to me. So why would I do it to other people? You know? But, and it's not just me, other people, you guys probably do it too. You might have been raised to not be yourself, not speak your feelings, maybe. We all choose not to be ourselves. I mean, I know what it's like to be at a job and you can't speak up for yourself because you're trying to keep the job, you're trying to keep money coming in, you're trying to pay bills and rent. And if you do try to speak up, let's say you're dealing with a manager at work and you're doing everything you're supposed to do, and then all of a sudden, the manager doesn't like you, so you go to HR and you try to get HR on your side, and then the manager, the HR sides with the manager and they fire you. That's happened to me. Then, it's a thing where, you get fired for trying to do a good job. And, like HR, they're supposed to, speak for you, right? They're supposed to be on your side, right? but yet they side with the manager who's over here bullying you. You know what I mean? Um, and the thing is that, a lot of us don't speak to who we are. A lot of us don't, because we don't do it because we don't want to lose a job. We got bills to pay, we got rent to pay, we got stuff we want to get. And so we just be this person, this agreeable person, at work. But we learned this a long time ago when we were kids. We learned how to not make waves, how to be good. And if you be good and you do the right thing, things will be okay. But when you try to speak up, you get punished. You get laughed at. So, I just wanted to just talk about like why it is that how I learned not to speak up for myself, how I learned not to speak authentically, because I've been raised to do it. Also, when I was a kid, I learned that, when you have a job, you basically, you don't be yourself at work. You be this persona that's agreeable, you know, because you're trying to keep the job. So like a lot of things like that I do, a lot of stuff I do, I've been raised to do it. Like many of you guys have been raised to do it because, as we're growing up, we learn things and we incorporate those things in our personalities, you know. But what I'm working on doing right now is I'm working on being myself. I'm working on learning how to speak authentically because I've learned very well about how to, I've learned very well about how to hold my feelings in. I've learned very well about how to only express my feelings when I'm angry. You know, I've learned very well how to do things, but those things are not letting me speak authentically. But I'm learning to speak authentically in my own voice. And I'm learning how to do that through the book that I'm reading, The Dance of Connection. Because what the book is about me learning how to speak in my own authentic voice, not in how somebody else wants me to speak or what somebody else wants me to say or how somebody else wants me to be, but how I can be the real me, you know, and be okay with it, you know. So that's what I'm working on right now, you know. And like I said, we all learn how to be the people we are. We learn through our experiences about what's okay and what's not okay, you know. But the thing is about learning to be our authentic selves and being okay with it. And if we don't know how to be okay with it, how to be okay with knowing that we're not sure how to speak our own voice and learning how to develop it in whatever way is comfortable for us. Speaking up doesn't only have to happen when we're angry. Speaking up can happen when we have other emotions. Speaking up can happen in conversations where we let people know where we stand on things. Not to be mean to people or rude to people, but to let people know who we are and where we stand, because that lets people know that we do have feelings. We do have opinions. We do have thoughts. We're not just over here, you know, just letting people, letting their opinion drive who we are, you know. And yeah, it's uncomfortable to be yourself. It can be if you were raised that way. But in some shape or form, we're all raised to be who we are. And a lot of us are looking to find our voices. I'm looking to find my authentic voice. And I'm glad that I'm in this point in my life where I'm actually learning to do that. It's a process, but I'll get there. Thanks for watching. Bye.